We're now on page 56 and 57. Let me show you how this is laid out, what I've done. Basically, what you have here is, on page 56 is plan and talk. This picture is where I am working with kindergarten students. This picture is with first graders. The children are on the carpet. I have a whiteboard. I have an alphabet chart there to refer to when we're writing down different words, and then an organizer where we're organizing that one sentence up on the board. First grade, I have my alphabet, but I also have my butcher paper or whiteboard where I'm planning out the story in front of the kids. I suggest that you put this on butcher paper, your plan, so that you can constantly come back to it when you're writing. So let's look at what this looks like. Kindergarten, for interactive writing, you will be planning one sentence, planning and talking one sentence. First grade, you'll plan a story. Then if we look at page 57, once you plan and talk, whether you're kindergarten or first grade, then we do the talk and write, where you say the sentence and then you're writing it down. Over here was kindergarten. We had planned one sentence, and now I'm going to have different children come up and write different words in that sentence. So I can teach them how to write the words, whether they're words that are high frequency words or words that they wouldn't know, so they have to say slowly, segment, and then write down the dominant sounds that they hear. This is a first grade group where the kids are coming up and different kids are coming up and they're writing down the words of the sentences. Sometimes they'll write 1 to 3 different words from the sentence. It just depends on where we are in the year. I'm not just working on children writing down high frequency words and segmenting words. We're also embedding spelling skills. So as I teach different spelling skills to the children, I expect them to apply it to our interactive writing when we come upon words that have those patterns or those rules in them. So we have our kindergarten on the left side, first grade on the right. Remember kinder, you will use the first grade model later in your school year. So I'm going to actually put a line here for the plan and talk for kindergarten and for first grade. Then what we'll do is we'll go over to the talk and write, and we'll look at kindergarten and first grade for the talk and write. Sentence planning for kindergarten. If you are writing, and in this case, a narrative or informational explanatory or expository writing, this is what your steps would be. You would tell the kids, we're going to write a story. Today, let's plan the beginning of our story. Story opening. And now I have all the kids do that. Story opening. I'm going to draw up on the board our story opening planner, which has 2 boxes. In our boxes, we want to ask, in this first box, let's go ahead and ask, who's in our story, a person or an animal? So I'm saying all of these different steps that I have lined out to follow when I'm writing a story. Story opening, step 1, get organized. Draw the 2 boxes. These 2 boxes, this is going to be for a character and this is going to be for an action. In this box is also going to be S for setting, but I'm not going to use the setting words in my sentence. I'm just going to use it to help plan the story. We're going to have step 1, get organized. Who's in our story? These 2 boxes are our story for our story opening, and the first box is to identify who the character is, a person or an animal. So in front of the kids, what I did was I drew the 2 boxes and they decided that we were going to write about ourselves. So I drew a picture. And all the kids went like this, I. You say that. Ready, everyone? I. And then action. What am I doing? What's happening? So in this box, we were deciding what we were doing, what was happening, and then we decided that I am on a bike. So that was our sentence. I could have added the setting. I could have said one day, and here I was outside, so I'll put a tree there. And then what's happening one day while I'm outside? I'm on a bike. And there's the beginning of our story. Very simple. Do you notice that? I'm not trying to use too many advanced words because we're focusing on high frequency words and simple words that we're writing down because we're looking at emergent writers. So here we go. I am on a bike. So the kids are saying that. Let's jump over here to our next page. We're going to have the kids write that out. We have children on the carpet. Instead of giving them whiteboards at the beginning of the year, I have them put their finger up and that is going to be their writing, their pencil finger. And what they'll do is they will write on the carpet as different kids come up to the whiteboard to write. We have kids who are going to, using their finger as their pencil, who are on the carpet, and then we will have different kids who come up to the board to write out the words. If it's informational, we have our 2 boxes here. If it's informational expository writing that we're planning for, and I tell the kids, all right, we're going to rewriting information, everyone say, what's the big idea? Ready? What's the big idea? And then, who or what is the information about? So maybe we've been learning about bugs. So I'm going to put a bug here. We're going to say bugs or insects. Insects, bugs. But because I'm working with emergent children, I may want to use the word bugs to write because it's more of a consonant vowel consonant word. We look at bugs. What's the big idea about bugs? What did we learn about bugs? Bugs have different parts. So maybe I'm just going to put some arrow there and point to the different parts of a bug. There's our bug. We go back and say, bugs have different parts. What? Bugs have different parts. So we are orally rehearsing after we planned out this information. When we went here to the narrative, what did we have? We were getting organized for our story opening. And what did we need there? We needed a setting, a character, and an action. So we had, I am on a bike. Very simple. For information, look at this. We started our information off with a topic sentence. I didn't say that to the kids. We just said big idea. And now we have our big idea boxes for our first sentence. And that is going to be setting, subject, light bulb. I don't say this to the kids. I'm letting you know. This is what's in here. The setting. We didn't need a setting. We just said bugs. And then what's the big idea about bugs? Bugs have different body parts. That's what we had learned in our lessons in science or social studies. Now we're ready to write about it in our interactive writing. If it's the next day, because remember, each day we're going to plan a sentence, then we're going to go write it out. So in this case, we had, I am on a bike. Now we have kids on the carpet. They have their finger. Whenever we're writing any words, like let's say I, they'll write I on the carpet while I have a student come up and write it on the whiteboard. Notice in the writing part, I have down here an ABC chart. So here's your ABC chart, so that if we're saying words that are not high frequency words, we'll segment and then I help them find the sounds. If it's not a word they need to segment, but a high frequency word, notice I have a list of words here, high frequency words that we've been learning in class that they'll refer to. So if it's the word I, the student would find the word I and then write it on the board. If it's a new high frequency word, we would chant it out and then I would write it up on our little list, and then I would have a student come up if it was in the sentence and they would write it on the board. Your tools are an alphabet chart and then a high frequency word list and then the whiteboard there for them to write the words. Let's go over to our story planning for first grade. In first grade, what we have is, if it's narrative writing and expository writing, you're going to see the organizer will look exactly the same way. A long strip of paper that's blank. First thing we're going to do is, remember this will take 2 to 3 days, plan out our story, which is story opening. Now we have our 2 boxes. In the 2 boxes, what are we going to do? We're going to have the setting here and the character here, and then the action. So, who's in our story? A person or an animal. So let's say they decided on a bunny. So we have our bunny in the story. Setting, when is this happening? Oh, a rainy day, and it's out in the country. Action, what's the bunny doing on a rainy day out in the country? Oh, he's hiding under a tree, so he won't get wet. So let's put the bunny under the tree. Let's say our whole sentence. The bunny is hiding under a tree, so he won't get wet. If it's the beginning of the year, it may be the bunny is hiding under a tree. Notice I didn't say on a rainy day out in the country, because this is a complex beginning. You have those prepositional phrases. It's the beginning of the school year. Keep it simple. Have your noun, verb, sentence formation. So the bunny is hiding under the tree. We'd go back, maybe we would write the word the here in our planner so that the kids could have punctuation and capitalization, and we put the so that we remember to capitalize it. The bunny is hiding under a tree, and we put our period. We're going to go ahead and write the next part of our story. So we had our story opening. Now we need actions, actions, actions till the story's done. What do we need? Actions, actions, actions till the story's done.